That's a very good question because it's always the entry point. Like I bought Bitcoin at 9,000 and I thought I was being fleeced. So I like Bitcoin. I'm glad I bit the bullet at 9,000. It was hard because gold was only about 1,800.
Well, Robert, you're a tad unusual in that you're a staunch advocate for precious metals, gold and silver, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, although many are coming around to holding both, in December, you called that Bitcoin will hit 50K in early 2021, and you were correct. You even tweeted it. Let's read that tweet. Glad I bought Bitcoin. Next stop 50K. Wall of institutional money coming 2021. Buy below 20K. If you missed Bitcoin, buy silver. Silver set to move due to AOC's Green New Deal. America in trouble. Future bright for gold, silver, Bitcoin, and entrepreneurs. All right, let's break down that advice there, Robert. You said buy below 20K. If you missed it, buy silver. Okay, so now that Bitcoin has hit a record high of over 61K and is now in the high 50K range, is it too late to get into Bitcoin? Where do you see it going?
That's a very good question because it's always the entry point. Like I bought Bitcoin at 9,000 and I thought I was being fleeced. But the reason I bought it at 9 was because COVID shut down the world economy. So I thought it was pretty, when they started printing, so I bought Bitcoin at 9. I wish I'd bought it at 10 cents, like a lot of people did. But now I look like a genius because today it's around 55,000. This is April 2021. And I think it's going to go to 1.2 million in 5 more years. So I'm still advocating it all. I prefer gold and silver, I do, because Bitcoin is still untested. But I have the wherewithal to withstand the hit if it goes down. But gold and silver are God's money. I know because I've traveled the world looking for this stuff. And I've been in the Andes, I've been in Mongolia, I've been in Argentina. I was just in Park City, which is a silver mining place. So I'm very much in favor of gold and silver because it's God's money. God put it here. I'm not really religious, but I'm saying God put it here. And then now with AOC and her Green New Deal, silver is going to be used more and more for the environmental. So silver is an industrial metal, but like the thing that really is strange is I can't buy it at retail. So I go to, a coin dealer and I just test them and say, have you got any silver? I said, yeah, in about 6 months. Why is the price not higher then? That's what I don't understand.
So you said you're projecting Bitcoin to be worth over $1 million in about 5 years' time. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And why? Why do you think that? And why do you not think that the government may intervene in one form or another?
Well, I think they'll try, but the problem is too big, Michelle. Our pensions are going bust. Baby boomers have no money. They shut down the economy. They're going to print, Biden's going to print another 1.9 trillion. So it has never worked. It's Gresham's law. Bad money drives out good money. So when a guy like me gets my hand on a Bitcoin, I'll never spend it. And when I have gold and silver, I've only spent a little bit of my gold. I've never sold it. I'd rather save it. So when I need money, because I'm a real estate guy like Trump, I borrow money. So when interest rates drop really, really low, like they are now, under 4%, I'll borrow millions of dollars because it's fake money. And I'll spend fake money, but I save gold, silver, and today some Bitcoin. Bitcoin is untested yet, but that's why I was happy to get some at 9,000. And I may buy some again today or tomorrow just because I'm more bullish on it. But I'm not bullish on gold, silver, or Bitcoin. I'm just bearish on Biden and his communist gang. That's what I don't like.
You're seeing crypto, gold, and silver really then as a way to safeguard against dollar devaluation?
Yeah, I don't trust the academic elite. That's called Bernanke and Yellen, and now we have Powell. These guys are communists. They print money. They're central bankers. I really don't like how they screw everybody. It makes me rich because all the CEOs take all this fake money and they drive up the stock price. But the working class guy is getting screwed.
But I'll tell you that the thing that really woke me up, and it was thanks to you, because I called Anthony when I have confusion and stuff, was this halving. Now the reason halving is important is because at the same time, let's get this. This is why I converted over to Bitcoin. This is my reason, and it was Anthony that cleared it up for me. Is that at the same time the Fed is printing trillions of dollars, Bitcoin is tightening. So Bitcoin's getting harder and the dollar's getting softer. Would you go into more detail on that distinction?
Yeah, so if you take quantitative easing, right, that is literally the Fed printing money and flooding the market with more dollars, right? It creates a higher degree or a higher number of circulating supply of dollars. So that's quantitative easing. Now, the opposite of that, quantitative hardening or quantitative tightening, would be them actually taking dollars out of circulation, right? And so what ends up happening in Bitcoin is something that looks like quantitative hardening. So there's 21 million Bitcoin that have ever been created. Every 10 minutes in the beginning, 50 of them were distributed into the circulating supply. That programmatically was cut in half 4 years later. So after 4 years of 50 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, it got cut to 25. It then went for 4 more years. It then got cut to 12 and a half. And just earlier this month in May, it went from 12 and a half to 6.25. So the way to think about this is previously, earlier this year, there was 1,800 Bitcoin a day that was getting created and entered into the circulating supply. Now there's only 900. So if you think about the opposite of quantitative easing is quantitative hardening, literally you're getting an artificially capped supply that is becoming harder and harder to get on a daily basis. And so as long as demand stays the same or goes up for that asset, the US dollar value should appreciate. And so the key piece to this, again, why are young people gravitating towards this asset is, one, it's programmatic, right? Compare that to the Fed. People are betting trillions of dollars in the market on, are they going to print more? Or are they not? What's the interest rate decision going to be, right? All that kind of stuff. With Bitcoin, we know with 100% certainty what's going to happen. And then the second piece is that it's programmatic, right? So nobody can go in and manipulate it. And so in a world where any TV station you turn on, everyone's arguing over what the Fed's doing, right? In this world, nobody can manipulate the market, right? There's nobody who can change that programmatic monetary supply schedule.
Well, so let me use old guy's language here. The Fed is centralized banking. So central is also communist. It's command and control of a central government. That's communism. Whereas what Bitcoin, gold, and silver are, they're not controlled by anybody. So one of the reasons back in '72 when I started buying gold was because the Fed couldn't mess with it. They do mess with it to some degree, but they can't print a lot of it. And that's what I don't like about saving dollars. So explain why it's programmatic, but I call it people's money because there's not one person like Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, can say today it's going to do this, tomorrow it's going to do that. It's already been planned out for years, right? Exactly how many coins are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at, let's say, the ECB Board of Governors, there's like 25 people that go in a room and make a decision, right? The Fed, I think it's, about 12 people go in a room and they make a decision. And so, I've got a friend who always says there's 12 people making the decision for a minimum of 330 million people's money, right? That just kind of doesn't sit well with younger people. And so when you look at something like Bitcoin, there's computer code that was written. That computer code can only be changed if more than 50% of the people on the network agree to change it. Now, as you know, when you have millions and millions of people who are all trying to coordinate something, nothing gets done, right? And so that code's never going to get changed. It's going to stay how it is. And if there was a change, everyone would see it happen. So you not only get
completely decentralized.
Completely decentralized.
The old guy system is centralized, and a bunch of old guys control who gets the cash, right?
Yeah, and a way to look at it is the US dollar is a sovereign currency. It's backed by a nation, and every nation has their own currency, and they're all manipulating them, right? We're seeing everything across the world. Everyone's manipulating their currencies. Bitcoin is the separation of state and money. It's the first time we've seen a currency, right, outside of something like gold, right, where now all of a sudden, no single country can manipulate the monetary policy. And so what I think is going to happen over time is every currency will be digital. There'll be a digital dollar, digital euro, digital yen, yuan, etc. So the technology will all be the same. The competition will happen at that monetary policy level. And I personally believe that the separation of state and money will become viewed as the superior monetary policy, just as gold for many, many decades has been seen as the superior store of value because of those sound money principles.
Right now, you should be saving gold, silver, or Bitcoin. So I'm not saying Bitcoin, and people get into what I call pissing matches. Which is better, gold or Bitcoin? Who cares? The question is, how much do you have? That's all that counts right now. Because the reason you buy gold, silver, or Bitcoin is for the same reason. If you trust the US government or the central banks, the Fed, and Wall Street, then save money. But if you don't, then buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. And the thing I like about Bitcoin is that I can run with it. It's just a number in my head. And my trouble with my gold and silver, I got so much of it, I have to lug it. It's hard to get it around. So when I started looking into Bitcoin, it was already starting to come up, so I started buying it around 9,000. And today I think it's around 15 or 16,000. I don't know what it is. I don't count that. I just count the number of coins I have. That's it. And I'm buying more. The reason I like gold, silver, and Bitcoin is this. The trouble with the US dollar, the more it drops in value, the more they print. Let me say that again. The US dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, as it drops in value, because interest rates keep dropping, they print more of it. And people save it. Talk about losers. Get it through your head. They're printing it. It's getting it's worth less and less and less. Whereas Bitcoin, the thing I like about it, because the more valuable, more expensive Bitcoin gets, they print less of it. It's called a halving. So the price goes up, but the quantity comes down. And check the dollar out. The value of the dollar comes down, but they print more of it. Why would you save it? Well, it's the same with gold and silver. So I like Bitcoin. I'm glad I bit the bullet at 9,000. It was hard because gold was only about 1,800. So to buy Bitcoin was hard. But I'm glad I have it today. I'm still planning on buying more because I think, Bitcoin's probably going to go to $50,000. Gold's going to go to $15,000 and silver will probably go to $200. And you're going to buy it then?